Fortune 4. Fortune 4.
Welcome, WrestleRanters, to the biggest WrestleRant of all time. This is our 40th edition. I am your host, Bleacher Report feature columnist Level 2, Graham GSM Matthews, here today to discuss last night's Monday Night Raw and, of course, my WrestleMania 28 predictions for this Sunday. Can you believe we're only 5 days away? When I started WrestleRant back on October 2nd, 2011, we were nearly, 8 months away from WrestleMania, almost exactly 8 months away. Now, 8 months later, we are only 5 days away until the biggest show of the year, and this could quite possibly be the most epic WrestleMania probably since WrestleMania 17. I don't know about WrestleMania 23. I didn't see that one live. I wasn't a wrestling fan at the time. But looking back at the results, I don't think it was the best WrestleMania in recent memory, but I definitely think that this could be the best WrestleMania in the last decade if done right. So let's get right down to it. They kicked off Monday Night Raw with Daniel Bryan and Kane defeating the team of Randy Orton and Sheamus. This is probably the only good match of the night that got enough time to shine, and given the participants involved. Oh, and by the way, before I begin, I am wearing my Nexus armband. If you realized, Nexus disbanded back in August, but I am wearing my Nexus armband for my booking band here today, which I will get to my WrestleMania predictions in a little bit, as well as my DX armbands. There you go, right on the camera, that we will get to in a little bit, as well as my signature booking cap that I put on every single week when I want to discuss and think about everything that is going to happen. Hashtag book it come WrestleMania 28 this Sunday. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But now down to the first match of the first match tonight, Daniel Bryan and Kane versus Orton and Sheamus. Good match, good action. I like that Daniel Bryan and Kane went over, foreshadowing that Orton and Sheamus will be picking them to win this Sunday, which I have no problem with whatsoever. Daniel Bryan has been on a winning streak since becoming World Heavyweight Champion, so this is the perfect storyline if Sheamus ends up winning the World Heavyweight Championship this Sunday, but I will get to my prediction in a little bit. So good action to kick off the show. Now regarding the teams of Team Johnny, Team Teddy, the matches that they had to hype this match all along were just not worth it, too short to mean anything. David Otunga and Santino, then they had Mark Henry and Kyle Lee later on. I just did not like those matches, did not mean anything, pretty much meaningless and forgettable. But moving on to the new additions to the team, we had Miz to Team Johnny. Excellent addition. This probably means he won't be interfering in the main event between The Rock and John Cena, so I'm happy to see that happening. And Miz obviously deserves a match at WrestleMania after headlining last year, so bringing him into Team Johnny was certainly an effective way in the way he was entered into the fray by attacking Santino Marella from behind with a skull-crushing finale. Could not have been done better. Now we also have Booker T coming to from Friday Night SmackDown, going to Team Johnny. I think this is a good move. Well, first of all, let me talk about Team Johnny real quick regarding The Miz. Alberto Del Rio was originally supposed to be slated in that spot, but due to his re-aggravated injury, his groin injury that he's had since December, he is not 100%, which is why he won't be on the card this Sunday. And as well as Rey Mysterio, who they thought was 100%, but is not yet. So that is why he wasn't the sixth member of Team Long. And that's why Booker T was placed in that slot instead, which I guess is better than Brodus Clay, which is the original choice that they were going with. And I would have liked to see Mick Foley enter the fray and the Team Long, but I guess not. But maybe in some sort of fashion or appearance at WrestleMania 28, as long as he gets on the show for the first Mania that he's been on. Since WrestleMania 22, I believe, when he faced Edge. So, moving on. Also, Christian was removed from the match, which I will get to in a little bit when I discuss the Punk and Jericho thing. But since Christian was replaced in the match after being injured in storylines, Drew McIntyre will be taking his place. Now, this isn't a huge disappointment. Drew McIntyre obviously does have history with Teddy Long, so this isn't an illogical move on WWE's part. Despite the fact that he hasn't won a match in months, he's only won probably 2 matches in the last 6 months, so that doesn't really help him going to WrestleMania. But if Team Johnny does lose, which I hope they don't, he'll probably be the one taking the pin. So moving on, Kelly versus Eve. This is the first time ever match. I was not too excited to see this happening on Raw. I mean, the match wasn't that good anyways. But since you're going to have this kind of one-on-one match for the first time ever, you should at least either A, hype it, B, make it longer, or C, save it for another day. They didn't do any of those things, rushed it, and got it over with quickly without any good action. And personally, I would have rather have Eve go over since Maria Menounos was not on the show. Oh God, I hate saying that. I just do not like celebrities wrestling at WrestleMania unless it's Shaq or something. But I would have had Eve go over, seeing that they could have had the odds stacked against Kelly Kelly with Beth in Eve's corner, and they could have had the odds stacked against Kelly Kelly. But they wanted to go the underdog shit and had Kelly Kelly win instead. But I digress. I mean, whatever, the Divas match, we'll get to that in a little bit when I make my predictions. Now on to CM Punk and Chris Jericho. This promo was the third week in a row that this has been done, involving Punk and his family, and Chris Jericho degrading him and his family regarding their problems. He was almost about to bring his mom into it. I don't think he said anything about his mother. I'm not too sure. I don't remember all that well. The promo was good. It wasn't as epic as it was last week. It wasn't as strong, but I still think it was good. I was looking forward to CM Punk and Chris Jericho, their final confrontation on Monday Night Raw. Just this huge, epic promo that we've been waiting for weeks, that we almost got a couple weeks ago at the start of Raw. But I was waiting for that on this week's Raw, but we didn't get it. We got this Titantron thing again. I would have loved to see Chris Jericho on Raw, on the final Raw before Mania, but whatever. The promo was still good in feuding this rivalry, and since we didn't get Punk and Christian, Punk continued to beat down Christian to the point where Christian was taken out of Team Laurinaitis at WrestleMania, and Punk exacted his revenge and taking out his anger. Now, obviously, I am disappointed. Christian is a former World Heavyweight Champion. I am a huge peep for Christian, part of the Peep Nation. I was really disappointed not to see him in the match at Team Laurinaitis. I'm not too sure if this means he still gets his one more match at the World Heavyweight Championship, if they indeed do end up winning at WrestleMania. I don't know about that. They haven't really cleared that up. But I did read that this is not a random move. They did this because they just found out that Christian wasn't 100%. Despite they were thinking that he was 100% a couple weeks ago. I guess not. But I still think that they should put him in the match regardless instead of Drew McIntyre, who the fans aren't familiar with. But whatever. As long as Christian comes back, gets drafted to Raw, feuds with CM Punk over the summer over the WWE Championship, and to exact his revenge on Punk. I think that would make most sense, and that it could be an epic rivalry with awesome matches that we've only seen twice over the past 2 years. So now, Brodus Clay had a random match on Raw. Whatever. I mean, he might be at WrestleMania in the squash match. I really don't care at this point. He just needs a feud in order to regain my interest in Brodus Clay. I still like him, love the entrance, but he needs a storyline in order to become relevant on Raw. Lord Tensai promo, the vignette for him, that is obviously A-Train. He might be coming at WrestleMania. He might be coming next week. Who knows? I am not extremely excited to see him because I'm not familiar with A-Train. I wasn't a wrestling fan back then, obviously, but I am somewhat excited to see what he brings to the table on John Laurinaitis and being his henchman and whatnot, and targeting John Cena or CM Punk, regardless of who he goes to. Cody Rhodes, another brilliant promo from him. Big Show versus Epico was obviously, or Big Show versus Primo, whatever. Squash match, didn't care about that. But the promo from Cody Rhodes was beautiful, very fun. Love to see that. And, yeah, hopefully, Cody Rhodes has been carrying this entire feud, so I love that he's cutting this awesome promos. And to kick off, to close the show, Rock and John Cena, another strong segment. Nothing new that we haven't seen before. But I did like this strong segment to finally, as long as they didn't get physical. I read that last week that they were supposed to get physical on this week's show. Thankfully, they didn't. So I think that was a good way to close up the show. Cena and Rock, very strong on the mic here. Finally getting intense as well as adding some humor into the situation. Loved it. Great way to close the show. I don't think this is an epic Monday Night Raw, and people were like, well, they didn't really... This is what people were saying to me, that this was a shit episode of Raw. It didn't sell WrestleMania 28. But here's the thing. WrestleMania 28 on paper looks to be the most epic WrestleMania in the last decade. I don't think Raw, regardless of you watching it or not, Monday Night Raw, that is, from last night, you're still going to buy the show anyways. The action wasn't there. The promos were still good. But it wasn't an epic go-home show, but it wasn't terrible either. I don't think it was terrible by any means. So now going on to my WrestleMania predictions. Obviously, let's go from bottom to top to build up my anticipation for all these matches. Now, John Cena versus Rock I will get to as my last prediction. The Divas match. Maria Menounos and Kelly Kelly are going to be taking on Eve and Beth Phoenix, the Divas champion. This match is obviously a filler match. Not too sure what they're going to be doing with here. Maria Menounos recently just broke 2 of her ribs, so her signature hair pull and slap spot that we usually get from all the celebrities at WrestleMania might be pulled, but whatever. This match, really don't care who wins. Kelly, Maria Menounos for the win probably, much due to the fact there's a celebrity in the match that hasn't been even on Raw live, so whatever. Kane versus Randy Orton. I am one of the few that actually like this feud, despite the lackluster build-up. I definitely see Randy Orton going over here and, just dominating Kane. Kane hasn't been relevant in the last couple of weeks, so whatever. I do expect a good match from these two, so I definitely see Randy Orton going over here. Cody Rhodes versus Big Show for the IC title. I have a terrible, terrible feeling that they're going to have Big Show win the IC title from Cody Rhodes and get his WrestleMania moment by defeating Cody Rhodes and finally getting his first singles win in the biggest show of them all. I certainly hope that doesn't happen and Cody Rhodes ends up winning and retaining his title and continuing his longest reign as IC champion in the last decade. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes in this one and retaining his IC championship, much like he did last year when he defeated Rey Mysterio in a huge upset victory. Team Johnny versus Team Teddy. I definitely see Team Johnny taking the win here. Team Teddy, I don't like Teddy Long. I mean, I love Teddy Long. Let me say that. I love Teddy Long, but I don't like him as a general manager of both shows. John Laurinaitis has been excelling as GM on Raw for the past couple of months, so I definitely see him continuing to be an authority figure on both Monday nights and Friday nights. So I definitely see his team picking up the victory. Dirty or clean, I'm not too sure, but I see his team picking up the victory and gaining power of both shows. Let's go to the World Championship match first. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan World Heavyweight Championship match. This is going to be a great match. Shitty build-up, but great match. We were supposed to see this last year WrestleMania. Got bumped in the mid-card if you didn't already know. But as for who I think is going to win, definitely, I'm not going to say definitely, I don't know, because I was thinking about this a couple of days ago, and I was thinking Daniel Bryan, maybe they're going to have him pull out the upset victory when everyone least expected. But I'm still going to go with Sheamus on this one. New World Heavyweight Champion, Sheamus. So he continues to solidify his legacy as the Celtic Warrior on Friday Night SmackDown. Punk versus Jericho, another awesome match. We've been waiting for this feud for a very long time. I had my doubts that Chris Jericho is going to end up winning the WWE Championship this Sunday, especially since his contract has been extended for the next couple of months. So he might end up winning. Who knows? But if they want to add some relevance to the younger stars at WrestleMania, I definitely see CM Punk retaining the WWE Championship against Chris Jericho this Sunday and proving why he is the best in the world and gaining his vengeance for Jericho's comments towards his family. Taker versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee inside Hell in a Cell. Man, I said this time and time again. I was not originally anticipating this match, but now I am loving it. Awesome promos, despite them not having them on Raw this past week for some weird reason. But a great match. This looks to be very solid. Obviously, it's going to go over 30 minutes, but I'm going to have to go with Undertaker on this one. They could have Shawn Michaels screw out Undertaker, but Triple H doesn't need the victory. He doesn't need the streak victory. Maybe to someone younger, maybe next year or whatever, to John Cena. I don't even know. But I'm definitely going to go with The Undertaker on this one. But I do predict for Shawn Michaels to deliver a sweet chin music to both men, like he did at the Royal Rumble between John Cena and JBL. So I'm now going on to the main event, Rock Cena. I've been asked this time and time again. I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to have to go with John Cena, though. I'm going to have to. They may have a rematch down the line, but as far as right now goes, I got to go with John Cena. He's the younger one of the company, so he definitely looks like he's going to be pulling out the victory this Sunday. And maybe there's a rematch at WrestleMania 29. Who knows? I'm not 100% sure, but since they're in The Rock's hometown of Miami, maybe they'll have The Rock go over. I'm not 100% sure because they know John Cena's going to be booed out of the building if he does lose. So yeah, this show looks to be awesome. I am really looking forward to it. So make sure you tune in this Sunday from Miami, Florida, live, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for WrestleMania 28. I am loving it. Could not be any more excited. Only 5 more days. So now some cheap plugs. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at @save_us_GSM. Visit my website for all the WWE, TNA, rumors, recaps, and more. Next to WrestlingNetWeebly.com. Check out spoilers for our exclusive interview with Luke Robinson at blogtalkradio.com/spoilerspodcast, as well as Morton from Tough Enough is going to be on our show as well in 2 weeks on April 5th, I want to say, at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, so check that out. And also make sure don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also check out all my dance videos and all that good stuff. So thank you for watching, guys. Have an excellent week and enjoy the rest of the WrestleMania season. This is GSM signing out. Till next time, guys.